So moving on with your top stories, it's been a very interesting and active time here in Nigeria. Let's move on to one of the biggest stories right now. The Dangote refinery, Africa's largest petrochemical facility, currently holds an estimated inventory of 500 million liters of petrol worth some 600 billion naira. And that translates to about roughly 400.5 million US dollars. But why is the Dangote refinery, a local producer, holding such a huge petrol inventory while the country still imports the same product? Helping me to make sense of what is going on right now on these and other matters arising is Dan Kunle. He's an energy sector policy analyst. It's good to have you again on The Arise.
Hey, thank you very much. Hey, yesterday I was here.
Yeah, you were here because, again, this is, I don't want to use the phrase, highly inflammable.
Anyway, the energy sector is
energy sector is highly inflammable, and sometimes we're trying to get a sense of what is going on. I'm trying to get what is the energy cost, competitive advantage of Nigeria. What do we have? Let's start from there, because petrol is still a major form of energy for the country. So everyone is keyed into that.
I agree with you. It's good. I will firstly congratulate President Tinubu for the bold decision he took to deregulate the oil and gas sector. When he deregulated PMS, you know, I was among the very vocal voice for that. And he took that decision day one. But the spirit behind it is exactly what we have seen today now. We are aware that Dangote is holding up to 500 million liters in his tank farm. Yes, deregulation means prices and products can be available, but you cannot fix the price on daily basis. It will be continuing to vary. So now we have stock locally. So it means that the policy is beginning to crystallize, is working. So it's very good. I will just say for now, the competitive advantage of a nation is another thing entirely, because there
but we understand and I keep using the phrase, is this downstream petrol refining business in transition?
Yes. Very big transition.
Yeah.
We have not really...
Because now we've got a state-owned enterprise. Yeah. And then you have a behemoth, such as Dangote refinery, coming in with a big muzzle.
Yeah, we need the regulator, the midstream, downstream regulatory authority, to come up with a framework. I said it here yesterday, the transitional framework. Because if you don't have a timetable within which you are going to be able to measure what volume to import against what is being produced locally from Dangote refinery, from government-owned refineries, and the mini refineries that are managing to look after small markets.
Yes.
So we need that timetable that we situate quantity and volume daily, so that you will not continue this import armada continuously, because it's a drain on the foreign exchange of the country. You can imagine Dangote refinery tying down $450 million, as I just said yesterday. Even if it is just for 10 days, you know what it means. So, you see, the sector is in transition, but the president needs to push to accelerate it. Yes, the midstream, downstream regulator, don't let me... Yesterday I said it here.
The midstream sector to the downstream, do you think that is where the real crux of what impacts Nigerians
That is it. They were not too prepared for this type of sudden capacity injection into the midstream, downstream. Yes, by Dangote. They were not prepared for it. The midstream, downstream regulatory authority were used to the old order, as I said yesterday.
There was only one
they would just go NNPC retail, NNPC importation, PPMC, monopoly, vertical monopoly. That is over now.
So there's a disruption.
Yes, big one. And only the president and the coordinating minister can call them and say, look, come, we can't continue like this. Bring your timetable. We must exit from this import arrangement. And we have to give the local refinery breathing space. The government refineries are coming up. Whatever the little they may be able to bring to the market, when you add it to what Dangote is doing now, you know what it means.
I'm trying to understand, trying to get our viewers to understand how Dangote refinery ends up with 500 million liters of refined product.
Yeah, it's the scaling.
Quality.
It is the scaling. I said it time without number that when you have scaling capacity, it's from 550,000 barrels per day against 650,000 barrels per day. From that 550,000 barrels per day, the average cost begin to be very attractive, very good when you spread it over. So now the refinery has ramped up and have pressurized up to 600,000 barrels per day. So they have yield, huge yield of all the products, white products. So the tanks are tanking up heavily, and the average cost is good. So now Dangote can reduce price if he wants to. It will reflect. I believe he's patriotic. He's patriotic enough.
He can do just that. A few minutes before we came into the studio, that's a reduction in ex-depot price that Dangote is bringing to the table.
That is brilliant.
That'll be about 890 in Lagos.
I was trying to confirm that, and I have had it on authority on my way here. I had it on authority now. That the price,
so that's
the price has been
issue. That's 65 naira per liter.
That the price, yes, it's good for the country. I congratulate President Tinubu, and it's also good for us to credit Dangote, because you see, scaling is very good. By the time he hit above 600,000 barrels per day, depending on the situation of the price of crude, he may even further reduce price.
Yeah, because
it's possible.
Crude is selling at about 70.
Yeah, and I'm happy. This is also, we are entering fasting month, so it's good for the fasting period. He did it in December for Christmas. He did it in February. And now again, he's doing it in March. We are just going to enter March now. So this is very good. And I congratulate the President. I congratulate the patriotic decision.
I appreciate it. It is good, all the congratulations. There's enough congratulations to go around. But again, how have we resolved the issue with the logistics in terms of haulage, in terms of and all of that? Have we been able to? Yes. Where are we on that?
This is one issue yesterday that came up again. I'm going to repeat myself. The pipeline infrastructure to move white product in this country, they are all dead. But okay, I'm aware that maybe Atlas Scope to Ejigbo to Mosimi, maybe to Ibadan, maybe reactivated very soon. I'm aware they are working on it. But the remaining part of the country, all the infrastructures are
who should fix that? Who should fix that?
PPMC and NNPC is supposed to fix it. But as I have always said, it's unfortunate they are not fixing anything.
We've talked about using rail to move fuel cargo.
Yeah, it's difficult because we lost the culture. In the olden days, rail were moving many things.
We can move the culture back. The country needs it.
It will cost money. It's capital investment. Everything is about capital investment. And that is why we are not competitive. Because for you to
make that something possible, someone to come in and invest in that.
You need long-term horizon to do a thing like that. It's not ad hoc. Exactly. It's not ad hoc. You don't just, it's not 2, 3 years, 4 years game. These are games starting from 7 years for you to have a return on your investment. Exactly. That is, even if Kaduna Refinery starts working today, there is no, how are you going to feed crude there? The crude line from Warri to Kaduna is long dead. So, and we are not aware of what NNPC is doing about that. So there are just too many disjointed environments in which the economy is run. That's why we are not competitive in anything. And without fixing the energy appropriately, it still pains me that I believe President Tinubu will make up with somebody like Malam Nasir El-Rufai. These are guys that can help to debottleneck the sector. So I believe that the country need to do something very serious about the energy sector. Even though we will never be competitive.
The demand and supply matrix is something, and then price is very key. Nigerians will welcome even much lower than $890, $825 naira per liter.
It's doable, but as I've always said, we should be after price stability. It's doable if we jump the volume of...
You're speaking economics with me.
If we jump the production of crude to 2.5 million barrels, then you can dedicate about 1 million barrels to your domestic economy. then you can work out the average cost and give it to the refinery to refine for
locally.
You. And then the price can be as stable as maybe even
the pump price.
700 or 800 naira, the pump price. So all these things are doable, but what of the initial decision, investment decision, capital injection? These are the issues. It's not this thing. We will continue this conversation because the policy makers at times they look as if they just acquire political offices, but the real job to roll off your sleeve and do the job is a problem.
That is sorely needed in the mid to downstream, whether it's going to be the rail, whether it's going to be the pipelines and all of that, reactivation, putting other ones in place. We need private sector investment.
We need private sector investment in all these things, but the NNPC that has been holding on to all these assets, they have to open them up.
Okay.
They have to open them up for third-party investors because you cannot carry the load. NNPC to me today, NNPC is financially bankrupt. They are technically solvent. They have assets.
No. You haven't done the audit.
Yeah. No. I can say it off head. I don't need audit. I don't need audit.
You need to give me feedback.
I don't need audit. They have technical assets that are not being sweat because no investment. But financially, NNPC is financially insolvent.
You can't.
Don't worry.
Be too sure
I know what
that.
I'm talking about. Okay. See the recent liability now that LLNG has to. Yesterday I was here. LLNG is going to see what just came out from London court.
The LLNG.
That means your dividend is already.
I want to say
your dividend is already threatened.
I want to say a little bit of this conversation. It's about how we bring things to Nigerians to see where things are going. The government still has a lot to do with the NNPC and all of that. But we've got a private sector investors coming in. So the government would have a lot to do with the NNPC. Some folks say it should be taken to the stock market and get the public to buy into it so that the NNPC can strip off a few of the assets and let the private sector handle all of that. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but you see, I agree with what you are saying.
Yes.
But the modalities to get it done is the issue.
So we can get the BP,
structure, yes.
the MOFI, the Minister of Finance to get it done.
MOFI is supposed to be the registrar of our assets in this country.
Yes.
MOFI has no business. MOFI is supposed just to be registrar of our asset. You understand me now?
Yes,
I don't know why we are creating all these unnecessary distraction for ourselves. You have BP, Bureau of Public Enterprises, by law. They are to carry out economic reform for you. Privatize, commercialize. The law is there. You have not repealed the law. So why are you bringing MOFI, bringing this? The role of those ones are not to get involved. NNPC Limited should be reorganized and put in the market.
Okay, fine. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. How soon do you think the transition agenda for the downstream sector should be put in place?
Oh, thank you for asking me this question. I want the president to give instruction to NNPC and the midstream downstream regulatory authority to sit with Dangote refinery and say, we are aware every day how much you have put in and how much is coming out from your refinery. And we believe that your capacity and the quality of what is coming out of your refinery is enough for Nigeria and the regional market. So we want to draw up a timetable with you in the most honest and transparent way so that this import license we are giving to importers, we can start to reduce it and wind down from maybe end of this month. Because I'm aware now about 400,000 tons is coming in. How 400,000 tons of product coming in.
Maybe some folks sitting somewhere doesn't want Nigeria to be.
Maybe these are orders they have placed in January, in February. They are going to crystallize this one now.
You don't import petrol in 24
hours.
And
meanwhile, you have a local refinery of the highest quality doing this. So I believe that question is very relevant. I believe they should do that.
You're going to be here. You're going to be here very soon.
Please.
So we've got to let you go tonight. We've got to let you go tonight. Wherever you are, we're going to find you.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate your zeal and enthusiasm.
Thank you.